Welcome back to another TPM Tactical video. Today's video is going to be on the vehicle entity catalog. So what I'm going to do right now is jump into my server that I have up for testing my combined arms config. I'm going to show you what it's currently at, and then we'll jump into Reforger tools and edit a couple of the entity catalogs in relation to the vehicles. Okay, so we've just spawned in. Just going to run over to the helipad here. Okay, so what you can see here is the helicopters that are currently in the entity catalog, the vehicle entity catalog for the US. So you have these first two here, the vanilla assets. These two here from WCS helicopters, and the Blackhawks are the Aussie Merc helicopter mod that he's just released. Okay, so as you can see right now, it's by the default setting. I haven't adjusted it in my configuration mod yet. What you can see is the order in which they're in is kind of, I want to change these. I want to move the Blackhawks to the left, so they come after the Hueys, the Cobra will be on the end. I also want to rearrange the order so that the higher tiered rank requirement vehicles are on the right hand side, just to keep things nice and easy, and helps with my OCD. And this here, I want to change this to Sergeant as opposed to being accessible by a Corporal. Okay. Yep, so I'm going to jump out now, jump into the Reforger tools. So this is my TPM Tactical Vehicles Combined Arms config. It already has all the mods loaded inside as dependencies that I'm going to be utilizing. So RHS, WCS helicopters, and what the name is of the Aussie Mercs mod. I can't remember it. It's in here somewhere. Okay, so just going to double click on here. Here we go. So here's my mod here, and here are the other mods that I've already loaded in. So WCS helicopters has vehicles and core as a dependency. Okay, so I'm just going to expand this configs, entity catalog, and the US and USSR. So I'm going to go into US here. Okay, so what we can see in here by default, actually let me delete this. So if you want to create your entity vehicle catalog from scratch, you need to go into Arma Reforger, structure, go to configs, entity catalog, US, locate the vehicle's entity catalog. I'm going to right click on it and go override in my mod. Okay, so here it is. So this is picking up the mod helos from what they've done exactly the same thing. So there's kind of like a mod order. So you can see up here on the top right, you got Arma Reforger. Then WCS is overriding the Arma Reforger entity catalog. And then here we go. So this MH60 is overriding WCS's, and then mine is going to be the overall override for the entire configuration for my server. Hence why, as you can see here, these other helos here have been added in. So if you look at the default one, just the Hueys. Now if we look at WCS helicopters, where is it? They've now added in their supply and the Cobras and so forth. Let's see, UH-60s. Yeah, Blackhawks. Okay, so I'll just close that, make sure I'm going to be working out the correct one. So my config, here it is. So we know by default that, what was it, the Black Hawks were on the right hand side in the factory menu. When you go to build them, I wanted them moved to the left, and also the Black Hawk I wanted to change the rank, would be in for the unarmed version. So we'll start with that first. Okay, so what I want to do is change the settings in relation to the Black Hawk. So you can see here, if we expand this entity data list, if you are creating a new entry, so you hit the plus, it adds it on the bottom, and then you're adding in the prefab into this section here. And that's done simply by clicking and dragging it across. And then you would have to go in and then add these other entity data list that you need. If it's an arsenal item, so if you'd go through and add an items in here and add the information that's required as previously covered. But we're not doing that here, and actually don't need this section. I'll remove it in a second. So yeah, there's different entities here that you can add in and muck around with. But what we're going to do, let's remove that and remove that. Okay, so back to the unarmed UH60. I'm going to click on the magnifying glass here to locate it, which I've already done. I'm going to right click on and I want to override in my mod name here. Reload without save, that's fine. Okay, so it is now overwritten, as you can see the little puzzle icon here, and this prefab is now located within my prefab vehicle helicopters USMH60 within my mod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and go edit prefab. What you're looking for is this little circle here, so editable vehicle component. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, there's lots of different components in here that you can muck around with, different drop down boxes, but what we're going to do is focus down on here on the rank. So what I want to do is I want to change this to sergeant because I don't want it as corporal anymore. And what you need to do as well is you need to change the value underneath it. So if you look here, so you got rank private is 1, rank corporal is 2, rank sergeant is 3, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to 3, rank sergeant, going to save that. I could change the supplies if I do want to change how much they're going to cost, but don't need to. I'm going to leave it at 2,000. So I'm going to close that now. And what we're going to confirm here that the override actually worked. So this here was previously pointing to the mod location. If I click on this magnifying glass now, it highlights where it's pointing to, which is my mod and in my prefabs location. Awesome. What I should have actually done first, so I'm pretty sure I can't move these around, is I'm going to add a few. Oh, didn't realize that. I thought I always added on the end. Okay, so I want to rearrange the order of these. So I'm going to click down here, hit the plus, entity catalog entry. And what I want to do is I want to put this helo at the end. And I'm just going to ensure that I'm using the exact same details. Actually, I wonder if I can cheat and just copy. Let's give that a go. Ah, sweet. A bit more efficient. Cool. So I have the AH1 Marines now. It's going to be at the end. So this is going to be the order in which you see it in the actual, in the factory when you go to build it. So let's have a look. So there's a screenshot I've taken earlier. So you can see the UH1H transport armed is these first two, followed by the supply and the Cobra, supply, Cobra, etc. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this one. Oh, I can't delete this one. I'm going to disable this one. Actually, can I? No, I can't even minus it. So all I'm going to do is minus it out, disable it. I'm not sure if someone knows how to actually delete these. I don't think it's possible because it's coming from, in this case, WCS's helicopter entity catalog, and I'm just overriding it. You can probably duplicate the entity catalog, but then you may need to point that in another component or another config to the new entity catalog. But either way, this will still work. It's for the purpose. So unticking this to disable it, and I've added it on the end. Okay, so what's next? I've got they're in order, that's fine. These here are two different other variants of the Cobra. So you got a black one and the army one. I don't want them on my server, so I'm just going to disable those. And I might move the unarmed one actually to the top of this armed one. So, and this actually, no, what I'll do is I'll move the armed version to the bottom. Oh, either way, I've got to move this around. So left click, copy. Let's add entity catalog, paste, and disable this, and copy. There's probably a smarter way to do this, but this will work anyway. Okay, so we've got the Hueys, followed by the unarmed MH60, UH60, supply, transport, the armed variant, and then the Cobra. Okay, so I'm going to save that. I'm now going to publish to the workshop. Updated the US reorg Hilo display order. We'll just keep it at that. Just going to variant 1.0, correction version 1.0.1. Let's publish that. While that's publishing, I'm just going to quickly stop my server and update the version for this mod. 1.0.1. Cool. Now server is booting. I'm going to close the Reforger tools. Launch Arma Reforger. I apologize if I sound a bit out of it. It is still pretty early. What, 6 o'clock now? Well, getting close to 6. However, I was up early. I was mucking around on the Bacon's test server, seeing if the M4A1 was working. However, it still seems to be causing issues after the latest hotfix, so Bacon's M4 mod won't go live just yet. Okay, so here we are. Load in, you can see version 1.0.1. If you do have questions and queries, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you do want a tutorial on another feature, another tutorial on whatever in Arma Reforger, let me know. While I'm still learning myself, I might be able to put a tutorial together to help you out once I learn whatever you're wanting to learn. Okay, let's have a look and see if this worked. Yes, there we go. So, actually I probably should have rearranged these orders. Either way, transport's on the left now. Actually, I think I put them in the wrong order. Probably should put the supply on the left, then the transport, then the armed. But as you can see, the Black Hawks here have been moved across to the left. The Cobra is on the far right, and well, I can't remember which one it was. These two was Sergeant previously, Correction Corporal previously, now it's Sergeant. So that same concept will work for any vehicle. Yeah, hopefully that helps a few people in the community. Again, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, and we'll chat to you later. Cheers.